Artificial General Intelligence. Is it to be feared? Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for all the listeners and the watchers, both now and in the future. Now, the purpose of this video, which goes in tandem with an earlier video on this channel with regard to the case that Elon Musk has brought against OpenAI, relates to what is deemed and cited also by people such as Elon, concerns about the development of artificial general intelligence. In the video relating to the Elon Musk versus OpenAI case, more detail is provided specifically on what those concerns were in that case and the desire to keep the developing technology under review and in the interests of the public. This video seeks to do something a bit different, and it is to provide a definition and explanation of what artificial general intelligence is, just from a layman's perspective, based on some material online, and also to see and take a look at whether we think there is actually a reason or justification for fearing artificial general intelligence. So first of all, in terms of defining it, and I'm not claiming to be an expert on this by any means, as I say, it's just a layman's review, but I think it's a topic that people will be interested in because it's fueling, not artificial general intelligence itself, but the basis of the technology that fuels things like ChatGPT, the deepfake videos and images. It's all related, to be quite frank with you. Now, starting off, so artificial general intelligence is apparently a field of theoretical AI research that attempts to create software with human-like intelligence and ability to self-teach. So in essence, it's kind of replicating the role that a human being plays, but I would suggest, just from observation, that it probably goes beyond what a human being would be able to do, on the basis that computers just have, depending on what chip size you have at a particular point in time, an unlimited ability. I mean, it's limited to the technology available at the time, but eventually it's going to be a significant ability to do all sorts of different types of tasks. Now, as I was saying just now, current AI, artificial intelligence, function within a set of predetermined parameters. So essentially, it's the old garbage in, garbage out. You give the AI the information that you want it to work on, and then it does so. So, for example, AI models trained in image recognition generation wouldn't be able to build websites because they're specifically orientated at performing tasks in relation to the image recognition rather than building websites. What AGI does is to develop AI systems that can do things on their own, autonomous self-control, a reasonable degree of self-understanding and ability to learn new skills, and then to solve complex problems. So if we go back to some of the concerns that have arrived from movies, I'll just get straight to it. What people most fear is that one day the artificial general intelligence is thinking by itself, is essentially going to take over the world. So I can think of two movies. I think it was iRobot starring Will Smith. And then the other one was, it's not Total Recall. The other one Terminator. That's right. I mean, obviously there's been a series of different movies relating to Terminator, and it gets to the point where I think the computers, I would say that is artificial general intelligence. It takes over. In what's it called? The Matrix, rather. I'm just trying to see if there's application. I guess in that, I think the Matrix was somewhat philosophical in my view, but if you look at the parameters in that too, you've got people functioning in a society. They're all connected to a matrix, but as I understood it, if I recall correctly, there were the system was alive, or there were elements in the system that were alive that had its own brain. But I think more related is Terminator and iRobot. Now, what's the difference between artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence? So there's been several milestones over time to advance machine intelligence, i.e. to mimic human intelligence. And AI summarizers apparently use machine learning models to extract important points from documents. Okay, so AI is thus a computer science discipline that enables software to solve novel and difficult tasks with human level performance, whereas AGI, artificial general intelligence, rather than specific, can solve problems in various domains like a human being. So, I mean, if you look like like a young child growing up, they were born, they learn to crawl first, they learn to they learn to walk, but then they, alongside that, they're also learning languages. Human beings are doing all sorts of different things at the same time, and the capability for learning new tasks isn't necessarily restricted. I mean, it's going to be restricted to the extent that you can't probably be omnipresent, be in multiple places at the same time as a human being. But I guess with artificial general intelligence, maybe that there's scope for that, to the extent that you have networks of computers which will enable the deployment of whatever the artificial general intelligence software is, to be able to perform multiple tasks across multiple networks at multiple times. So I think it's a very significant difference, just from my layman's perspective and understanding of what's been said. So essentially, hypothetical computer program of human comprehension and cognitive abilities, so it can handle unfamiliar tasks. So you could bring a task to it that it hasn't been trained on, and it will essentially train itself probably very quickly to be able to do that task. So that's the general comparison between the different types of artificial intelligence as against artificial general intelligence. So in summary, and there are different approaches that I'll come on to in a second, but in summary, artificial intelligence, defined parameters, artificial general intelligence, ability to learn and to do new things on the run, so to speak. Now there's different, I wasn't really aware of this, but apparently there's different perspectives on this. You've got a symbolic approach that assumes that computer systems can develop AGI by representing human thoughts and expanding logic networks. Bear in mind, these are approaches because it's an ongoing field of study. So it's all, things are changing every day. So that symbolic symbolizes physical objects with an if-else logic. And then you've got the connectionist or emergentist approach, which focuses on actually replicating human brain structure, brain neurons, etc. So actually, it's trying to directly link it with the abilities that human beings have. That's an approach. Then you've got a universalist approach that addresses AGI complexities at a calculation level. So I should say, just to be clear, this is just my review of the material in this area. I'm not claiming personally to be an expert on this, but I've got an interest as the listeners, and thank you for listening, by the way. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I've got a great interest actually, in technology, in making things better in the world, and just general interest as well. And then you've got organism architecture, which involves integrating AI models with a physical representation of the body. So that's essentially like robot-like, isn't it? And then you've got hybrid, which studies the symbolic and sub-symbolic methods of representing human thoughts to achieve results beyond a single approach. So, combining everything essentially. Now, it's said that AGI remains a distant goal for researchers, but part of the reason why I'm doing this video, and the reason why I did the earlier video on this channel about the Elon Musk claim being made against OpenAI, is because Elon Musk essentially says, as I understand it from my interpretation of the filing, I think it's from memory, it's a 46-page document which I went through. Elon Musk's claim against OpenAI. He believes that OpenAI have now access to an artificial, at least one, maybe more, but artificial general intelligence model that they're using. And I don't want to go into the detail of that case, but as he understood it, that information wasn't, he's not been informed, because he essentially, Elon, without going into it, he assisted, that's what he's claiming, that he assisted the company in its early stages, and he understood that anything outside AI wouldn't be licensed to other companies, and he's concerned that it might be licensed to Microsoft. That's long and short, but go and look at that video. It's a very detailed video on that case filing. Now, some people believe that the AGI systems haven't been developed, and that's why he's raising the query, because if it is, he wants to know about it, essentially. So there we go. There's some comparisons, and you've got different fields in relation to this area. You've got deep learning, training neural networks. You've got generative AI, where AI produces unique and realistic content. And then you've got natural language processing, NLP, that allows a computer to understand and generate human language. And you've got computer vision, extract, analyze, and comprehend spatial information. Robotics, engineering discipline, obviously physical maneuvering. And yeah, there are definitely some challenges, and those things are developing. So, for example, emotional intelligence is said to be one of the challenges. Sensory perception, and yeah, there's all sorts of things, and there's all sorts of companies working in this area. Like, some of that material came from that I've just been speaking about, comes from Amazon, who actually have computers, and I'm not advertising for them or anything, but Amazon work in this area. Let's safe to say. So that's, if you want to do some independent research, you might want to check out their stuff. They've got an AWS system where you can actually rent their cloud computing and stuff like that. But that's no liability for that information. I'm just kind of passing that on, because that is one of the companies that a lot of people use to. It's basically like a backbone rather for a lot of these websites. Obviously, OpenAI, they develop the models, and I guess they've got their own computer systems as well. So that is that's the difference between artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence. I want to go on to look at some of the concerns, the fears about artificial general intelligence. All right. So I've already said that people think essentially that computers are going to somehow malfunction and try to take over the world. I say computers, the framework underlying the artificial general, the brain behind it, which isn't human, is going to try to take over the world at some point. And another concern, which probably is a pressing concern economically, is that, AI, people think that AI, but, will take jobs and leave people employed. And we can move that to saying that AGI, artificial general intelligence, is fair that certainly will do that. Because as I've already said, the ability to do tasks isn't limited by the specific framework or the parameters of an artificial intelligence function. Rather, it is ability to learn new tasks. So, but I must say I did read something early on this week. Can't quite remember where it was suggested that actually some of this technology might actually increase the jobs available, and this is something to consider. My understanding of what the article was saying was that on the basis that it will think of new functions for human beings to perform in society, and that makes, I'll be quite frank with you, that makes a lot of sense. So you got adverse or converse views on that AI will take jobs and leave people unemployed, and then some people believe that it won't. The other concern is about the fakes, differentiating fiction from reality. So I think even now there's technology that exists which will, that you've seen people creating scenarios and making you believe that is what's actually happening, whereas what's actually doing is that the computer's just being manipulated to make you think that you're looking at the photo of somebody, or make you think that you're looking at the video of someone. And then, as you know, voices can be replicated as well, so I guess it could create all sorts of concerns for, building evidence. If somebody creates a video and says that person A has committed a particular crime, how can that person prove otherwise? Say they don't have an alibi suggesting they were somewhere else. How can that person prove otherwise? That presents a concern. But I just want to bring it back to this specific topic, because that is something I would suggest that AI can do at the moment. I think the greater concern, particularly if you involve the area of robotics, say we get to the point where a robot, as we've seen in the films, is essentially physically not different or externally to another human being, and that robot pretending to be someone else, talking like someone else, the mannerisms of someone else, commits a crime or does something else. How do you differentiate? And this is a concern that people have about artificial general intelligence, and more specifically, that robot will be able to adapt to different situations without the need for defined parameters or external human input. So this is really the point about the potential of artificial general intelligence, as opposed to just replicating or pretending or to be something in a video or an image. So that is one of the concerns, and we've already looked at possibly ending humanity. So the idea that the AI will say to itself, well, hang on a second, we the computer, we don't need human beings anymore. We will take control over, for example, the nuclear weapons and arsenal, and then that results in those circumstances in humanity's extinction. And then humanity won't know what happens next if that were to play out. And people have got really major concerns about that, and maybe that's underlying the case that Mr. Elon Musk has brought in relation to OpenAI and that technology. So, and the other possibility, not ending the world, maybe enslaving humanity. That is a concern. But let's not forget there are all sorts of different positives. Maybe the AGI will create or think for itself and then create new ways of healing certain diseases and infirmities that people suffer. Make life better, make life easier, enable more money to be generated for individuals and communities. I mean, those are other positives to consider. Overarching it is, like, if we're looking at the ethical argument, who decides what's right? This is an interesting quandary, so to speak. Who decides what is wrong or right? So with AI, as I've said, you've got defined parameters. So a human inputs into the software that this is what we in society believe is right or wrong, okay? Or maybe or a position in between. Obviously, there's laws which feed into that, and religion and other inputs from of morality feed into that also. So that is AI. With artificial general intelligence, that system is making the decision about morality. And the problem is, what if that system's morality or belief in morality, or that system's belief in what a legal system should be, maybe even to monitor itself or to monitor humans, is different from the systems currently in place, and morality codes currently in place from human beings. And this is one of the major concerns about the impact of ethics in AI. And we're going to see legislation on this in the future. I'm pretty sure of it in terms of restricting. But I think the difficulty with that legislation coming into place very quickly is because as already said earlier on in this video, people don't even know what the state of artificial general intelligence is. Does it exist? So there's a question about whether it exists now or not. A question that Elon Musk is raising in that case against OpenAI, and if it's not formally if it's not formally recognized as existing, then how can you legislate for something that you don't know the current latency of, so to speak? And then in addition, how do you legislate for the future in relation to a system that is developing? So as I've said, maybe it is beyond the scope at present of human estimation what that artificial general intelligence may be capable of. So I guess the challenge is to identify how you legislate for that challenge in the future. So that's a short video on the two main topics are: should we fear artificial general intelligence? And the second is the kind of defining the difference between artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence. I think my short conclusion is there's clearly reasons to have some fear of artificial general intelligence, but equally there are the positive. I don't think I'm right now today in a position to say what will outweigh, because I don't have a crystal ball, to be quite frank with you. So I don't know what the future holds in relation to it. What I do understand the need for control by humans. I mean, we're here first. Human beings are here first. So controlling the software and capabilities is important. But on within that same scope, though, the whole point of AGI is there is no control. I mean, this is my understanding. There's not a control because you're allowing the computer model to run free. And sometimes in life, you got to take a risk. So that's probably where I am at the moment. If you want to advance society, you probably do need to take some risks. Anyway, done talking for now. Thank you for watching, listening. I hope this was an informative video. The subscribers are growing on this channel. Please do continue to subscribe, share it to your friends, family, everybody. Like, comment, and share. And thanks very much for listening and watching. Done talking. The views expressed in this video do not represent the views of the channel or the channel owners or the channel participants. The information in this report was alleged or allegedly. You should do your own fact check. We will not be held liable for the information herein. Thanks for watching and listening. Please subscribe. Done talking. Yeah.